All right, folks, welcome back to the TNT show. We have the NFL draft tomorrow. It's finally here. A lot of, back and forth going on with who's falling, who's rising up the boards. So we're gonna throw some of our own commentary in, talk about what we think is gonna happen on draft night.
Yeah, we did the mock draft last week. Of kind of just going through the mock. So this is going to be like last minute, you know, what ifs. I'm sure people are getting phone calls for tomorrow. Are there going to be any crazy trades? Who's going to fall? Who's going to who's moving up in the draft boards? Who's going to be the steal of the draft? And who's potentially just going to fall flat? So you know obviously there's a lot of rumors about Cleveland and New York, trading their number 2 and number 3 pick. What do you think about
Um, it's very realistic. Depends on who
that? I don't
you
see them
want.
doing it.
I don't either, but it's a possibility depending on what they're getting back. Like let's say, just gonna throw your team out there. Let's say the Bengals, they want Travis Hunter. They want somebody they can pair in with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and they want somebody who can lock down an opposing receiver. So you get 2-1. Not saying that would be the case. Obviously, he's one of those guys. He stated multiple times he wants to play both ways. Um, so the Bengals could trade, Trey Hendrickson and a pick and get that number 2 and take Travis.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's not a yeah. They could trade Trey Hendrickson and either get him or Abdul Carter.
Yeah, because if they trade Trey Hendrickson, they are going to have somebody who comes in and takes his place. So,
So,
yeah,
what do you think? There's going to be any crazy trades?
I think we'll see at least for sure. I think in that first round, I think we may see at least a couple. At least a couple. I'm thinking maybe inside the top 5, we see at least one. Somebody's going to trade into the top 5 because they want somebody that bad. And maybe somewhere between like the 10 to 20 range, we may see another one.
Do you think anybody is going to get traded? Like,
Mm, yes, I think we'll see at least a couple of. I'm gonna say at least a couple of big names, like Kyler Murray. He's been floating around there, so we could see him in a new home after draft night.
yeah, I think if not, I think the writings on the wall for a few people. We just talked about it. Eventually you're going to have to cut ties. I mean, they haven't really extended Kyler Murray. I know they gave him a little bit of money, but Dallas said that they're looking to make some moves. They're not trading Dak. They just gave him $300 million. But
Yeah, it's Dallas though, so you take that with a grain of salt because substantial moves could be like low tier based on their standards.
so I think Trey Hendrickson's going to get traded tomorrow. I mean, they're obviously not going to pay him. I don't think they have enough money to go. The writing was on the wall for him when they paid Chase and T. Higgins. So I think he's going to get traded tomorrow. So,
Yeah, I think I agree. He wants out. They don't want to pay him. I think it's mutual. Get what you can out of him and find a replacement.
do you think anybody's going to do anything? Do you think somebody's going to do kind of like Atlanta did last year? Do you think somebody's going to take a quarterback when they don't necessarily need to?
It's a possibility because I saw in another
I
mock
think
draft
there's two teams that are going to take a quarterback in the first round that are going to surprise some people.
that would be.
I don't know if they're going to do it first round, but I think Miami's going to take one. It's the health concern for Tua. You need obviously when he got hurt, the Dolphins were trash. So
Yeah,
either he's that good or I don't know, man. Tua must be really good. because nobody. I mean, with the firepower they had, it really shouldn't have mattered. But God, they were awful. I don't think they won a single game with him hurt.
Yeah, I don't.
Then he came back, and they still almost made the playoffs. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to show you just how good he is, but also at the same time, like you can't just put any quarterback in there and they're going to succeed.
Right. Like you said, Arizona was my other one. But you kind of said that with the Kyler Murray thing. So
Oh, I mean, the Browns.
I mean, no, because I think they're going to make a trade. I think they're going to draft somebody in the second round. I think they're going to get like. I think what they're going to do is they're going to take Travis Hunter. The rumors I've been seeing, they're going to take Travis Hunter and make a trade, and take Shador.
Yeah, but I mean, if you wait too late to take him, then he might be gone. Most mock drafts have him going to the Steelers at 21. So if you
I
want
mean,
him,
you can trade back into the first round.
yeah, you can. But I mean, again, you gotta if you gonna do it, you gotta be quick about it because it's gonna go by not necessarily pretty quick, but in their from their perspective, it's gonna go by fast.
So, who do you think is going to fall? Like other than Shador, because other than him, do you see anybody else?
The only other person I saw falling was the offensive tackle from Texas.
Kelvin Banks.
Obviously
Yeah.
for good reason though, and injury concerns. Other than that, I mean, he's a great prospect. So, but I think he's
I've seen
definitely
him, and I've seen the corner from Michigan dropping pretty far. What was his name? Will Johnson.
Will Johnson. Same thing. He had that foot injury, and after he came back, he wasn't having like the greatest season anyway. So
So yeah, I don't I don't see Shador falling out of the top 10, but I think if he
I
makes it, I think the Saints are going to take him at number 9. They need a quarterback. Derek Carr's. I mean,
So do you think they just go ahead and move on from Derek Carr? Or do you think when he comes
well, he's
back, they
hurt,
just
so it doesn't matter. I honestly, yeah, if they take it, I mean, they're taking a quarterback, whether it's him or Jackson Dart.
it'll be
It
one
it
of them?
depends. It depends on what you want to do. If you want to
Honestly,
roll Derek Carr, then no, that you're not. They're not taking Shador. You could
both
take
mock
Jackson
drafts,
Dart.
both mock drafts that I saw had Shador and Jackson Dart going towards the end of the first round, 21 and 26 respectively. So honestly, if you're a team that's taking either one of those quarterbacks at either of those places, then you kind of win because they were. Well, I know Shador was projected top 5, so if you get him at 21, that's a steal.
Yeah,
26 for Jackson Dart. I mean, he was. I think he was projected like what, mid to late, so he's kind of right about where he's supposed to be.
yeah, yeah. Unless somebody does something crazy and jumps up and takes him,
I
you
mean,
never know.
taking him top 10, I wouldn't be surprised by it based on what you saw in his workouts.
Yeah, he has what you like for the Saints. It would kind of be like a Michael Penix in the role. So if Derek Carr is hurt, he can come in, step in, you know, whatever. They still have Spencer Rattler, so he doesn't have to play right off the bat. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true.
Who do you think is going to be the steal of the first round? Like, who do you think is going to be the
Um,
best?
that's always a tough question. If I had to take a long shot, I'd probably say, mm, I'm probably gonna sound biased when I say this, but I'm gonna say Will.
I'm going to say if Jacksonville can get Genty at number 5, they got to do it. I mean, they need a running back that can elevate and take the pressure off of Trevor Lawrence. I think if he's
Yeah,
there, you take him.
I think realistically because he's not. I don't think he's gonna go 1-3-4. So realistically, that's probably their best bet right there at 5. Which again, like you said, a home run hitter at the running back position.
Yeah, I don't see him going.
He's
No
not gonna
way.
go number 1.
No way the Giants take him, right? They could.
No,
They need
no.
a
I mean,
running
because
back.
they're not gonna go through the Saquon Barkley situation again because they're still kicking themselves because he just had 2,000 yards rushing and won a Super Bowl. So no, they're not gonna take a running back.
So he's either going 5 or he's going 6. He's either going to Jacksonville or the Raiders.
Yep.
So that means Jacksonville's probably moving on from Travis Etienne. So they could trade him too.
Oh, Etienne.
He's not terrible. He's just it's the injuries. He gets hurt a lot.
I think they probably trade him before they just kept him on the because if you think about it, that's 3 running backs at that point. You're really not going to utilize that many running backs. You really mainly only need like 2.
Yeah, because I mean Tank Bigsby did just as good as him. I think Tank Bigsby had more yards than Etienne, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
I mean, with Tank Bigsby, you just know he's a little less often injured, and he's a capable running back and a good change of pace from what Aston GT is going to bring you. Even though Aston GT is technically all around, he's everything you want in a running back.
Yeah, that's for sure. So I just don't know if Jacksonville's going to do it.
It's possible. It makes sense though. I mean, they really need to focus more on defense. If you want me to be completely honest, because their defense is trash.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. They need to get defense.
But I don't. They probably just don't want
Do
to take.
you take a chance on one of these on a generational running back that just ran for almost 3,000 yards in college? Do you take a chance?
Yeah, so I mean, it would make sense if they went with the running back because I mean they do need one. They need somebody of that caliber. But also at the same time, like if they took like let's say they took like a defensive tackle or an edge rusher or something, it'd probably be too
Yeah,
much of a reach. I don't know. Yeah, it'd probably be too much of a reach for them at like that high of a pick for like. There's no other really defensive prospects that are rated that high that are going to fall in their lap right there. The best defensive prospect is Abdul Carter. He's projected 3 to the Giants. So
yeah.
after he comes off the board, it's really not, a lot left out there. It is,
So
but not like top 5 worthy.
who do you think's going to be who do you think's going to bust? Like who do you think's just not going
to? I mean, no disrespect to Travis Hunter, but it could be him. It's a possibility. Not strong possibility, but I'm just throwing that out there just to stir something up.
Yeah, it's the hype, you know.
It's not even the hype for me because I mean
I
he's
would
really
say
good, but
I
it's
would
his
say
frame.
it's yeah. The moment he gets hurt, you have as a GM, owner, coach, you have a decision to make. If he gets hurt,
Yeah, I mean for somebody that's projected to be a full-time wide receiver more than a corner, those type of receivers never pan out in the NFL. Like his
see
frame.
in his best interest, it's to go somewhere that's pretty decent. I understand you want to play both ways. We've talked about it. He's talked about it. I understand you want to do that, but this isn't college. You're going up against, whoever's in front of you is the best in the world at that position.
True. I
You
mean,
know,
they got some teams. They got some teams who said they'll let him do it though. So I don't know.
anybody's going to let him do it. I mean, he can do
But
it anywhere. But at the
like I said,
same time, it's the okay. If you get hurt, let's say I don't know. Let's just say he has rolls his ankle or something. A lot of times it takes a couple weeks for these guys to come back, and they're only playing on one side of the ball.
Yeah, I think coming out, he's obviously not going to be full time on both sides. I think that's not his plan. He probably says it is. He wants to be full time both sides, but realistically, he's not going to be able to do full time on both sides.
Yeah, there's more games. Who knows? He may come and he might be terrible. He may get exposed. I really don't know. As far as who I don't think is going to be that great. That's tough. I know who I want to say, but I'm not going to say it. You already know who I'm going to say. Let me try to pick somebody else. You want me to be honest? Aside from, I might pick Ashton Genty.
Yeah, I mean, small school running back.
The reason I say that is because I understand that you can't really compare it to you can't really compare it to this. But when they played Penn State, right? Yeah, they played Penn State, right? They bottled him up. Now I get it. The physical, I get the physical part. Penn State's a lot better than anybody Boise played all year long.
True.
So I don't know. It's that part. It's the can he come into the league and do that?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't really see a whole lot of. You don't really see running backs get drafted this high. Not really. I think that's why Jacksonville is going to be hesitant. I mean, last time they took a quarterback top 5. I mean, no disrespect to Fournette. I mean, LSU legend, but I mean, it didn't really pan out for them the way that they wanted it to. He had some good seasons, but the injuries kind of racked up on him.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, it'll probably more than likely it'll probably be a quarterback if I had to assume. Sanger. Let me get some water. Oh, I have a tickle in my throat.
If you're gonna say it, you just got to be direct about it.
I mean, if he goes to Pittsburgh, I think he'll be fine. I mean, they got a good team. I mean, if you go there and you suck, you just suck.
Yeah, I mean they had a 500 season with Kenny Pickett, and we all
They
know
had
how
they, they they had a winning record with 4 quarterbacks with Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, and whoever else it was. They were still winning games.
I mean, that just goes to show you Mike Tomlin's just one of those once in a lifetime coaches. I mean, he can win with anybody at this point.
Yeah. So imagine what he could do with a good quarterback. So I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say. It really is, but I'd probably say Genty because running backs, it's tough, especially all the spotlight. Travis is a good one too. The spotlight's on him. Heisman Trophy winner. He wants to play both positions full time. I think if he did become a bust, he'd be the biggest bust in NFL history. It'd be close.
No, bro. Jamarcus Russell is the biggest bust in NFL history of all. There's
I'd
no
probably
like
say either him or Josh Rosen because Josh
it's
Rosen had a
it's
lot of hype.
1,000% Jamarcus Russell, and
Yeah.
it's everything. It's got everything to do with it. All the money they gave him, all the hype he had, all the nonsense he was doing. Like, but yeah, I'm not gonna dive too deep into that.
But I mean, yeah, that's out of all the quarterbacks. Do you see anybody getting picked that you're going to be surprised? Like
Honestly,
let's say first two rounds. Do you see anybody getting like picked that you're like, huh?
not really. I think as far as the first round goes, I think it'll probably be who you expect to be. Maybe not in the position that you would have expected them to be in, but I think I'm probably gonna be more surprised if some of these quarterbacks like fall out of the first round. Like let's just say Jackson Dart happened to fall out of the first round. I'd be a little more surprised about that because I'm pretty sure there's a team out there that needs him.
Yeah. my surprise quarterback taken in the first two rounds is going to be Quinn Ewers. I think somebody's going to do it.
I could see him as more of a second round and not in the first. If he goes in the first, I'd be surprised. I'd
He's
be
not
surprised
going.
by that.
He's not going in the first. He may not go till the third or fourth round, but
I could see somebody taking him on a day too,
that's going to be my dark horse. I don't think he's going to go anywhere and play, obviously,
which is
but
not that's not bad.
like I could see him going to like the Rams.
Good situation.
Maybe who just got a quarterback that's a little older. The Raiders wouldn't be a bad spot. Geno Smith is not. He's not old, but he's not young either. So,
Yep.
but that's just he probably won't get drafted till about the third or fourth round. But so I don't know. Pittsburgh could do something crazy and not take anybody and take one of these guys later. I mean, there's some good names on this list that you could get in the fourth or fifth round that, Dylan Gabriel's sitting here. Quinn Ewers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously the knock on Dylan Gabriel because he just don't got the size, which that's a little. I
Yeah,
feel like you can't
he's
really
kind of
go
smaller.
based off of that.
I mean, Will
That's
Howard
all.
said he was the best quarterback in the draft.
That's that's still crazy to me that he said that because he's definitely not by
This
far.
this guy from Louisville, the Tyler whatever, I don't know, Shu, whatever his name is.
Yeah, they got him getting drafted before Quinn Ewers.
So
I
they
don't
got
know what
him
I
going
missed with him.
before Milroe, Howard, and Ewers.
That's I mean, I guess. I mean, the guys who do the mocks, like I said, sometimes they know what they talking about, sometimes they don't.
But
And
yeah,
that's coming from somebody who just watches the sport.
yeah. I mean, other than Ashton Genty, I don't see another running back going. Maybe Omarion Hampton. Maybe.
I've seen a couple mocks where he's towards the end of the first, which that's fair. He was actually that good at North Carolina.
Yeah, he was pretty solid. So, but yeah, that's basically all I got.
Yeah, no, that's it for me too. So that's gonna do it for us here on this episode. If you made it to the end of the video, just comment who your favorite team is and who you want your team to draft. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Yeah, we've been, me and Tavis have been talking. We're trying to get a little bit of a better schedule. We've had kind of a lot of stuff going on. Moving, getting situated. Work, everyday life stuff. We're trying to get back on schedule where we're dropping more consistently. So we can kind of be dropping more, kind of getting back on schedule to what we were doing. And dropping more, short stuff, just getting more content out there for everybody.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
All right, well, that'll do it for us here. We'll catch y'all in the next episode.